to Sousa Farm. Today we are pulling the honey. So we're extracting the honey. I already extracted 3 boxes. I'm just finishing the last box. So I'm going to show you the process. Then once you're done with the boxes, you just put them outside there. And then once I'm done with the one inside, I'm going to take those boxes, bring them back to the bee yard and open them up, like crack them open in every spot and let the bees in there. They will clean all the comb out. And then once that's clean, I'll just put them back in the hives again. I could just put them right in the hives right now. I just don't need to do that. So I'm just gonna let them clean them up and then I'll seal them. You wanna make sure you keep them nice and sealed once they do that, because you don't want the wax moth to get in there and lay eggs, go destroy your comb. So I may just let them clean it for 2 days. It will take probably that, maybe just a day. And then I'll go through the hives. If I see I need any extra boxes, I'll put them right into the hives. If not, I'll stack them away and then I'll put them in later. So the bees already found them because there's honey all over the boxes. And they're already coming here and getting some honey. So anyways, we'll go inside and I'll show you how I extract the honey. Okay, so you're gonna need your honey extractor. You can rent one, but it's pretty hard sometimes to find them for rent, so you can buy one, I guess. But you need a filter. So this is a 2-stage filter. I'm gonna close this because I have it dripping. And this bucket is full. And you're gonna need a food grade bucket, obviously. So your honey filter there, you can get this pretty cheap. And this is a 2-stage, so the top one, this thing comes out. I'm gonna pull it out because I actually have to empty the bucket. So this thing comes out, the top part, and that's where they will catch most of the big stuff. And then there's a finer filter in the bottom, and that will catch any fine stuff. And I just filter it this way, that's it. I don't do any more filtering, that's all I do. I like it to be raw honey, and I like it to be as good as I can get. So that's pretty much all we do. So you need your filter, your food grade buckets to store your honey or to collect your honey. And it does help if you have hot water around, because this is sticky. This is a very sticky job. And if you have hot water, you can just, once the filter gets plugged up, you can just wash them up a little bit with hot water, because it will melt the honey and wash really quick. If it's cold water, it's a pain to clean. And that's it. So we use our extractor to spin the frames. This takes 3 frames at a time, and then you turn the frames around and you spin it again. So there's both sides, but you do have to spin the frames around. And we use this here to uncap it. So you need your double-sided knife to uncap the honey. That's all I use. And then this, because sometimes you can do it with the knife if the comb is not drawn far enough. So you just go with the pick, then you just pick the cappings off. And then in the bottom I have a steel bucket, a stainless steel bucket in the bottom. This is a screen, so I uncap it here. And then most of the honey will just, it's not too hot, it's hot in here because I put the heater on, so this room is really warm. It's about 25 degrees. And I'd like to get it more hot, but it's just I gotta work here. And the honey will drip down. So what I'll do once I'm done uncapping, I have this bucket here was full of cappings. Is I'm going to, once I'm done, I'll take this, I have a bigger screen, and I'll put it in the bucket and I'll dump all this on top and let the room get really warm and give it a day. And most of the honey will drip down into the bucket, so we'll get probably 4 or 5 kilos extra, because there's a lot of honey in the comb. The other thing you can do, you can just take this, put it outside, spread it in a container or something, and the bees will come and clean the honey clean out of it. And then all you get is the wax that you can melt, make candles, whatever you want. That works too. So I won't do that now. I may do it later. Once I drain the honey, I'm gonna do it probably, put it outside, let the bees clean it, because they're gonna bring the honey right back into the hive. If this was in the fall, I would not do that, because I don't want the bees to bring the honey back into the hive, because I don't want them to have any honey in the winter. So that's it. So we're gonna spin this thing. You guys can take a look how it's done, and then we'll uncap some frames. I have 3 left just for the video, and then we'll just show you the process. Okay, so this thing normally I attach this to the floor, because normally I do it in the wood deck. I do recommend to attach it because this thing will spin and this thing will vibrate like crazy. So I'm going to do it slowly, obviously, but this thing, so you just spin it and this will pick up balance. Like you can just try to stop it because you won't stop. So we'll just spin it, frame to the side, and I'll show you in a minute. You spin it really good, and you can see the side here, as you spin, the honey coming out of it. And normally you will see the honey will stop coming out of it, and that's when you know it's done. So normally if you go a couple times, and you go really quick, this thing will hold the honey pretty fast up. There you go. Now the handle is loose, so make sure it doesn't fall off. Once this thing keeps going, it's pretty hard. Like, be careful the handle there, because this handle will hit you. It'll hit you pretty hard, because those frames are hanging inside, they're pretty heavy. So we just gotta let it sit there for a second. Now we gotta open it, take the lid off on one side, and we just grab the frame there. This is the side that we extract, clear, and now this one is full, so you just gotta turn it around, put this one to the outside. So you put the extracting side to the outside. We'll do all of this in the 3 frames, just put them around, just like that. Like that. I'll put the lid back. Both sides open, this side opens too. And now we will spin it again. But before we do that, we're gonna have to empty the bucket and let some honey out, because 3 frames full will pretty much almost fill this to the spinner inside, and then when you're spinning, you're gonna hit the honey, and you don't want to do that because it's harder to spin and it just makes a mess in the frames. Your frames will cover the honey, so you want to drain it before the honey hits your frames inside. So we got to do that, and then I'll show you the inside of this. So that's the inside. You open the lid, and that's all you do. You see the frame just, and as you spin, obviously faster than that, but you can see on the bottom there already, the honey is almost touching the frames. You see the honey moving with the frames? So that means I gotta drain it, because then I'll make a mess. So that's pretty much it. You put the frame in there, the honey will, as this spins, the honey comes to the side of the walls and drains down. So you always want to put the side that you want to extract facing the outside. And this thing will extract pretty quick, like I will say maybe 20 seconds for each side. So 40 seconds you will do 3 frames. Obviously if you have help, it's a lot faster. So that's our cappings. That's our uncapping thing, the way you do it. That's our filter, the 2-stage filter. So we have the top stage that will catch the big stuff, and then that one will catch the finer stuff. So I gotta wash the filter before I put it back again. And then I use the food grade white buckets, and this one is food grade 2, just to empty it there. And it's pretty much a bucket of honey almost. So I figured that we gotta have about 3.5 buckets from those 4 boxes. So 4 boxes, 4 deep boxes will give you full, because they're all full. So give me about, well, I guess by the time I drain everything, probably 4 buckets of honey. So we already have 1, 2 here, plus 1 there, and I'll be 3, and I still have that full, and all the drain plus 3 frames. So let's say 3.5 buckets at least. So that's pretty much it. So this inside there is my butcher room, and that's why I did it, because like this I don't have any bees in here. So we gotta clean the filter there, and I gotta watch it. The line what I do is scrape it. So I'll just go like that and just scrape all of that wax off. Now my honey is pretty dry. I never had to test it, because as it comes out of the machine there, it's pretty thick. And it's sticky, very sticky actually. So I know it's dry. And because of all the frames, I would say the frames, they were, some of them 100%. I say probably 95% cap in the box, so I don't have to worry about moisture because I know it's good. It's pretty dry, so it's going to be, you want to have your honey at least at 17.5, max 18. If you go over that, it's not going to last long and it's going to ferment, and that's going to be a problem. So you want to keep it. So now if you test a frame and you test the cap area and you at 15%, let's say, or 14%, and then you test the uncapped area and you're 18, you'll be fine. Because once you mix that honey together, your moisture flow going to be a 16, 17. So you don't have to worry about that. The other thing you can do if you have wet honey, because sometimes you do, normally I have that problem in the fall, because it's not as hot anymore. And what I do is I'll pull it out, and then I'll put it inside this room here. And I have a fan in the wall over there. I'll turn the fan on, that fan is pulling air out. And I'll put the heater here, so I'll keep this room about 30 degrees for about 3-4 days, and it'll pull all that moisture off. Or you can use a dehumidifier. That would work pretty good too. So this is pretty sticky work. Like, you'll get covered in honey, and if you're diabetic, don't eat it. Nothing is trying to get in. I can hear the scraping in the door. Okay, so we put our filter there, it's clean. Now you got to open this, and you got to see how thick it is coming out. See, that's pretty thick. Normally it will be a lot more runny, and you can see that it barely wants to come out. And this thing is full up to here. So you got to let it come out to empty enough to spin those frames, the other side of those frames. And this honey is pretty much, all of it is dandelion, maybe a little bit of clover there, but not much. That's why, and it's really good. Like, I've been eating honey all morning. You gotta hold it here, you gotta spin it again. You wanna hold this machine down as you spin. If you attach it to a deck or to a solid floor, you still have to hold it. This is not a very expensive machine, but it will do the job. And if you have, I will say, under 10 hives, this machine is, I'm touching the honey already. So you can see the honey will just stop if I let it go. Because I'm already touching the honey. I can see the frame hitting the honey in the bottom. So hopefully it will come some enough that I can finish spinning it. So because it's so dry, I could heat it up. I just don't have the time to do that because I got other stuff I want to do today and I'm just trying to get this done. But you can heat it up, heat up the room, get the honey warm, and then it'll come out a little faster. Because it's, you just gotta take a look and make sure everything is out. Yep, it's up. You put it back in the box. I'll show you a frame here. So that's pretty much it. See? Obviously still have a little pollen in there. That's okay, no wonder my honey. And you know, the ones you're touching the wires like there, you can still have a little bit honey in there. You could move the frame around and it'll probably get most of it out, but I don't care, it's pretty clean. And because I'm still making honey, the bees will just bring this right back in, and I got more than what I wanted for the dandelion honey. So that's pretty good. There you go. That's it. I'm gonna let it drain. I gotta keep an eye on here because this will come out faster than the scream let it go down. So you gotta keep closing it and let it stream and then open again. So it takes a while. And if the honey was hotter, this would be a lot quicker. But now we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you how to uncap it. I just gotta put this in position. There we go. I wash my hands because they're pretty sticky. Now it's warm in here, so what you're gonna do is you pull a frame off. We'll put this facing that side. You guys can see. Here you go. So I have this thing, I got a dollar store, and it looks pretty good. I want to make a wood frame that I can put my frame in there and uncap it. And I was going to do that last year when I was doing this, I was like, I gotta make a system here, and I just didn't have the time to do it, and I completely forgot. So what you're gonna do is you get your knife. If you look at the knife, it's flat in the back, and it has a bubble in the front. So you wanna get your knife, and you just gotta go like that. And now when you go with your knife, you wanna clean the knife all the time, because this thing will stick to the knife pretty good, and then it'll start showing your comb. And you just wanna go back and forth, really. You gotta put pressure on the knife, and you wanna do quick strokes. So you don't wanna go too slow, you wanna go quick, so you cut through the wax. And you pull down at the same time. And then just put it there to trim. Now the more you cut, remember, like you can go really tight to the wood, put the knife right there and just slide it down. I don't do that, I just try to take the cappings off, because the more you cut, the more wax the bee's gonna have to build again to store honey again. So I try to just go right on the top here and just pull the cappings off without going too deep, because I don't want to destroy too much of the wax. I mean, the comb there. So that's it, this side is done. This one was actually easy because it was all capped. You have a lot of spots in there, so you can just do that. That's done. Now this side is different, so it's almost all capped, but this area is not, so we just gotta start the same. Always with the knife to the outside. You don't want to be digging in, you want to be digging out. Keep it nice and flat. And when it's not capped, I try to keep the knife out of it. Because if it's not capped, I really don't want to get in there. Like you see there, and mess up the comb a little bit. That's fine, the bees will fix all that. But and that's it. So now we get this thing. You see in the corners here, you just go and just poke it out. Just go in, just to the point. You're not going to go too deep. Just go to the point and just pull the cappings off. And that's uncapped. That's it. Now I just put it in the honey extractor here. And that's it. Go do another one. This one is all capped too. They're all capped. There you go. So this goes pretty quick. Obviously, if I just keep going, clean the knife all the time. So you see, I'm not going too deep. I'm just cutting right at the top here. I don't want to go too deep because I don't want to destroy too much comb. Because the more comb you take off, the more work you're going to give to the bees. And if you want to make a lot of honey, you want to keep as much comb as you can. You see, here I miss a bunch of spots, but that's okay. That's why I use this little thing. And just go like that. Just wiggle it as you go up. Just like that. And uncap it. That's it. Now turn to the other side. And you do the same. So you want to go fast strokes and clean your knife, because it will stick to the blade, and then the blade is actually ripping the, instead of cutting, will be ripping it. So you don't want to do that. Just like that. Go again. See? And just rip it right off, because this thing is not clean. And the honey is not too warm. Obviously, if I was just doing 4 boxes. If I'm doing 10 boxes, then I'm going to make sure this honey is warm so I can move a lot quicker and the honey flows a lot quicker. Last one. Clean it. See, this one is built right to the outside, so I just want to cut the cappings here. Because I'm just trying to make sure I don't give the bees too much work. So instead of building wax, it will make me honey. You can buy a hot knife. I know there's a hot knife for this, and apparently they work a lot better. But just using the regular stuff for now. I'm not looking into spending a lot of money into this, because remember, the more money you put into it, the more money you have to make to pay it back. So we don't mind to do a little bit harder work. And this is a beautiful frame of honey. It's a new frame too, and with yellow foundation. It's a beautiful frame of honey. That's 2 jars of honey out there, I would say. So that's it. That's pretty much the process. Like, there's not much to it. Okay, so that's pretty much the process. There's not much to it. So you uncap the honey in the uncapping station here. You put it in the machine, spin it, open it, filter it, put it in the bucket, and you're done. So it's pretty easy forward. Now, there's all different ways to do this, obviously, but that's how we do it. So anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.